Alright, so we have been away from Lies of P for a little bit, but just recently, since we did not get any DLC information for Elden Ring, I have been diving headfirst back into this amazing game. So, I want to share with you today a really awesome Motivity build that completely destroys everything in this game, as well as having a ton of fun attributes and amulets that you can use in order to have a great time. So, we're going to dive headfirst into the weapon, how to get all the items, and most importantly, how to have an easy and enjoyable time while playing through Lies of P. So let's get right into it. Starting out in the beginning of the game, you're going to want to choose the path of the sweeper strength, because this is not only going to give you the best attributes starting off for the weapons that you're going to need, but it is going to allow you to hit harder than any other class in Lies of P. You're then going to continue out through the game, because the first thing you want to look out for is your next weapon. You are going to be using the police baton. Now, this weapon is incredibly short, but hits like an absolute truck and has a great motivity scaling. You're going to pick this weapon up from the inside of the House Ellison Boulevard Stargazer, and you're going to run out until you fight a police watchman. Upon his defeat, you're going to receive this weapon, and you can use this weapon pretty much until the last 1/3 of the game, because we are going to be adding something to this in order to have a really fun combination for our weapon. And that addition is going to be the Live Puppets Axe Blade. This is an absolutely massive axe, but when you take the head off and put it on the police baton, it actually gives you a very fast attacking massive axe, and it also has a fantastic motivity scaling after you use 1 or 2 cranks. With this weapon, we're going to have a physical attack of 348 plus 174. It's going to have a Fable charge of 720, and it's also going to have 77.56 damage reduction rate while guarding, which is awesome. Our Fable arts are going to be killer attack and strike chance, and overall, this is an absolutely fun weapon to use, and you're going to be doing a lot of damage to not only bosses, but normal enemies throughout the world, allowing yourself to kill most people in 1 or 2 hits. The fastest way to get to the axe head is you're going to want to go to the Barren Swamp Stargazer and run backwards until you hit a very giant tower that's going to be shooting artillery at you. You need to make your way up that tower, and at the very top is going to be a chest. Within that chest is going to be this weapon. Now that you have the weapon together, you are ready to become an onslaught of death and destruction like never before. So with that being said, let's see how we can do even more damage by going into our amulets. So for our very first amulet, we're going to be using the Extreme Modification Amulet. This is going to be an amulet you receive from Aladaro after you defeat the Scrapped Watchman and give the Broken Hero's Ergo to him. You will have the option to get this amulet or a weapon. I chose this amulet because it's going to give you a fantastic damage boost, and since we're already doing a good amount of damage using a Motivity build, this is only going to accentuate that. It's going to give us a 20% increase in damage if you have 5 Fable slots that are completely full. This amulet requires you not to use your Fable slots, and because our Fable arts are not amazing with this weapon, that is okay, and we are going to be getting that fantastic damage boost when we have all of our Fable slots filled. The Arm of God amulet is going to take our amulet slot number 2, and this is another amulet giving us a great damage boost. It's going to provide us a damage boost based on a successful attack. So any attack that you get off, the next attack is going to have a damage boost accompanied with it, which is absolutely phenomenal. As I said before, we want to stack as much damage into this build as possible, and with these 2 amulets so far, we're doing a pretty good job. This amulet can be located at Aladaro if you give him the Reborn Champion's Ergo, which is the Ergo you are going to get after defeating Champion Victor. The Carrier's amulet is going to be in slot number 3, and this is going to increase our weight limit. We have a very heavy weapon that we're using, and we're also using a very heavy Aegis, so having that increased weight limit is going to be a great quality of life enhancement for this build. The Carrier's amulet is going to give you a 15% increase in your weight limit, allowing you to carry heavier items, and typically heavier items give you more damage negation. This amulet is going to be dropped by a shovel robot right before you hit the Moonlight Town. Now your 4th amulet really can shift back and forth based on what you need to do at any particular point in the game, but for me personally, I am using the Strength amulet, which is going to give me +4 motivity. The more motivity that you have with this build, the more damage you are going to be able to output with your weapon, so the majority of the time I have the Strength amulet here, but you could very easily switch this with the Patience amulet, which is going to increase stamina recovery speed, or you could also do the Life amulet, which is going to increase your max HP. It is completely up to you, but as I said, the Strength amulet goes here for me. The Strength amulet is located if you go to the Grand Exhibition Gallery Stargazer from the exact NPC that you just saw in the previous clip, and after you kill him, he will drop this for you. And guys, real quick, I just want to thank you so much for watching this far in the video. If you've not subscribed yet and hit the bell notification, feel free to do that now. I would appreciate it a ton. We did hit 20,000 subscribers this year, which I'm super pumped about. So thank you guys so much. Now, without further ado, let's get into the next part of the build. Now, as far as our Legion arm goes, we are going to be using the Aegis for this build. You can use any arm you want up until you get the Aegis, but I really found the Aegis does a very good job of synergizing with our weapon and the build we've put together. It has a motivity scaling of B and a technique scaling of B with an advanced scaling of D. Now, the reason that I love this so much is because it definitely gives the sword and board feel when playing through this game. It has an awesome ability where you can hold the shield up and a giant explosion will come out once an enemy hits you, and then that leaves them open for an attack while applying some damage to them as well. I absolutely love this Legion arm. Even though you can't get it until a fair portion of the game has been played, it definitely is a great choice for this build, and I highly recommend the playstyle. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the defense parts because every single defense part is situational based on the boss encounter that you are going in within this game, but I will tell you that I'm using the Arch Extra Heavyweight frame, which is going to give you the most physical damage reduction at 32.85. I'm also using the Lada Large Capacity Corrosive Resistance Converter. I'm also using the Belford Shot Cartridge, and I'm also using the Workshop Union Certifier Liner. All these should be situational, except for potentially the heavyweight frame, because that's going to give you the most damage negation in the game when it comes to your defense parts. All these parts can be found easily as you traverse your way through the game. They are always out in the open, and they're never hidden behind any walls or anything along those lines. Either an enemy will drop them, or you'll find them in a chest. Moving into the P organ for this build, in the first area, phase 1, I have 3 slots unlocked. The added Fable slots, obviously for more Fable damage. I also have Link Dodge, as well as extra increased pulse cells. Moving into phase 2, we're going to be using the Retain Guard Regain upon pulse cell use. Also going to be using the increased pulse cells for more healing, as well as the extra amulet slot. More amulets obviously means you can equip more and have more damage. Moving into phase 3, I have nothing here, but in phase 4, I have the extra amulet slot, giving me 4 slots in total, allowing me to equip all the amulets that I need in order for this build to work. Now, as for the stats for the build, my vitality is at 20, my vigor is at 18, capacity is at 20, motivity is at 42, and I have not touched technique or advance. I will probably take motivity all the way up until 50, capacity is going to stay at 20, vigor will go up to 20, and then vitality eventually will go up to 30 by the time I reach the end of the game. But guys, there you have it. That is going to be it for this particular Motivity build. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I for sure have had a really fun time playing through Lies of P with this particular build and crafting it as I've gone. I'm very excited to see what else this build is going to hold as I continue to hone it and min-max it as we get towards the end of the game. But let me know down in the comments if there's anything that you guys would change, anything that you would add, or maybe things that don't even need to be here that you would take away. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching until the end of the video. If you have not subscribed yet to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you guys can know when I'm making more content. If you want to check out more Lies of P videos or Elden Ring content that I have on the channel, I will leave that all over the screen now. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.